Welcome back to Let's Analyze Elsword Revamped. There's a link in the description if you'd like to read my fanfiction of Elsword before watching further. Unlike all the other chapters before this one, I went through a lot of real-life stress while typing and proofreading, so if there's a dip in quality, that's probably why. Also, it's the longest chapter so far, which might have something to do with that too. As of this recording, I'm feeling a little better, but I'm not sure if the quality in the next chapter will improve. Chapter 8 is in the perspective of Elysis. I mentioned the following in a previous author commentary video, but I'll go into more detail here. El-Kashu's letter has been changed to not include asking for his daughter's help in the Velder Civil War, because it's pretty stupid to ask your own child to turn the tables. It's true that she had some Elsword party experience, which involved Dark Forest survival, and it was enough to do a sneak attack through a demonic forest, but that implies the entire Velder army doesn't have the same experience for whatever stupid reason. Not only that, but the few that did have the same experience only needed one person to lead them through the forest. So what are the odds that nobody out of that small group could lead them instead of Elysis? Since Lo is with Elysis, Chapter 8 takes place before she left Reuben, which is made obvious later when she does leave, but this is the first hint for why Elysis is with him. Here's the new reason why Elysis wants to go help El-Kashu in the war. She would rather do something to help than wait for him to die. It makes sense for a naive character like this younger Elysis. Why is Elsword using a different weapon than what he usually has? Remember, this happens in the past, when he's younger and much weaker, so he wouldn't be able to carry a bulky metal sword. This is why Anne gasped. She never expected to see Elysis here so soon. When Elysis tells Anne to take care of Elsword, it has a double meaning depending on if he's alive or dead, which Elysis wasn't sure of. We know he's alive, so this meant to take care of him like you can imagine, but if he was dead from her strike across the forehead, taking care can mean having a proper funeral. I intentionally made this request vague because I don't want to make it seem like she knows Elsword is still alive, which only the readers know at this point. Elysis likes whatever reminds her of stars in the night sky because her curfew kept her away from seeing such a sight. It's a childlike trait I wanted to include to slightly flesh out her character. There are more childlike traits spread throughout the chapter to help envision her young mentality, since this is the past Elysis. She never introduced herself to Noel, so hearing him say her name was a clear reason for her to suspect some foul play here. Just like Elsword, she also has a tendency to jump in logic. Spicy seafood soup is an in-game item that you can get from Helen by trading fish with her at either of the hot springs. This Grand Market event makes sense because Hoffman is the head of the Velder Commerce Association, so you would expect some form of marketing in Elder, where he's located at. It's also a reference to a similar Grand Market event in the game, The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel. The structure of Elder has been modified a bit for reasons that will make sense later. Keep in mind how there's nothing obstructing the view of the plaza no matter where you are in Elder, since the roofs are lower, and there's a much steeper elevation difference between each street. Tangy soda is an in-game item that you can craft with Echo in Elder, and according to the description, the magic beads make this beverage dangerous. That's how I got the inspiration to make Tangy soda knock out the knights when there are too many magic beads added. Inflammation of the vocal cords is a bonus after effect that's only there to discourage the Market Knights from talking too much about the incident, since their voices are very strained by this point. The river you see in the Shadow Forest has the opposite slope in this fanfiction, because if the stolen goods are sold here to Velder, transporting them would be difficult when going up an incline compared to going down a decline. If it's not obvious enough who this person is, it's the playable character Ad. He's worked with Wally, used the skill Energy Boom, and has drones to check his surroundings. It doesn't make a lot of sense right now for why Ad stopped caring about the stolen goods, but it will make sense in a much later chapter. The Nazot camera that Noel uses is a reference to Adam's Nazot camera from Kobo Service. Before I start a chapter where the Elsword party or Secret Service enter a new region, I'm going to flash back to when Elysis enters the same place so we see how the area was in the past. That way, we understand the characterization of Ad and Elysis, her journey to Velder, and learn about some of the NPCs in the new areas before the El Search Party and Secret Service interact with them. If you like this video or the fanfiction, show your support in the comments or with a review on fanfiction.net.